Black Ops 6 has a lot of weight on its shoulders. The hype train never fails to come around year after year for Call of Duty, no matter how bad everyone says it is. And this year it seems even bigger than normal. The Black Ops 6 gameplay reveal trailer already has over 56 million views since its release almost 2 weeks ago, which is almost double the last game, Modern Warfare 3. With this added hype, Black Ops 6 really needs to deliver, not just being another COD, but at least one step above the rest. So with that being said, I'm going to go through some of my quick thoughts on how I think they can achieve that. We're going to start off with some low-hanging fruit here, and that's map voting. I don't really understand why this is such a big deal and why it's left out of some Call of Duty games. I mean, it can be a simpler feature and they've done it before year after year, but sometimes it just gets left out. I feel like it's a pretty universally loved feature within the Call of Duty world, so I'm really hoping that Black Ops 6 does have that feature added. Another thing I hope they do well is a good mix of old and new maps. I personally am very excited to hear that all 16 maps on launch are going to be new, but obviously I do know we will be getting classics, probably like Nuketown or Raid in the future. I just hope they don't use DLC season for remade content only, but also I do want that old content at the same time. They really do just need to hit that right balance between the classics and the new stuff. Building on that, I hope they have unique maps with like good colors and memorable features. I feel like this used to be a common thing, especially with Treyarch games. I mean, I feel like they're known to deliver some memorable and colorful, vibrant maps. But I feel like it's been a while since we've had something like that that's memorable for looks alone. Obviously, I do want the map to play well too, but what happened to maps with a memorable setting, like at a carnival or a skate park or a paintball facility? Those maps just had that pizzazz that really got the players going, and I feel like they haven't had that touch lately. Switching it up a bit, I hope they have some fresh weapons and kind of a revamped way of leveling up those weapons. I know this is a tough one because they make a new Call of Duty every year, there are only so many somewhat realistic gun models you can conjure up, but I hope they give the guns a fresh feel. I do think the last game that did that pretty well was Cold War, so I'm hopeful on that front, but also it would be nice if the leveling of weapons made more sense. I've heard that in Black Ops 6, each gun you level will unlock the attachments for that gun, and I'm not sure how true that is, but I feel like that makes so much more sense than universally unlocking attachments. It used to be a huge part of the grind that added diversity to your grind when you had to start over with no attachments, slowly unlocking the horrible attachments that you may as well not even bother putting on the gun. And then finally getting back to that perfect build for each gun was very satisfying. Even if it does seem like it's a leveling loop, it did make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Currently, you just level up to unlock the different slots for each attachment, and then basically just copy paste, attach the DR6 hand stop, a sight, and basically the exact same set of 3 other attachments for each weapon class after you get those slots. After 1 or 2 games with no attachments, you immediately have the meta build, and I feel like that takes away from a lot of the fun of it. I do realize that you can obviously manually take those attachments off, but I feel like the principle of it all just isn't the same as being forced to use that level 1 no attachments weapon and being forced to use those terrible attachments with each gun. It's just part of the game, man. This is definitely a reach because obviously it's a big money grab for them, but I do hope that mastery camos kind of make a return to being actually at least somewhat as cool as some of the purchased camos that you can buy in the store. It's pretty painful when you grind for hours and hours just for there to be hundreds of cooler camos for 20 bucks a few days later. Obviously, you get the prestige that comes with having the mastery camo, but it just means so much more when it's also one of the best looking in the game. I get that this is a moneymaker, so it probably never will happen, but I just thought it needed to be said. Again, this is another one that I feel like they kind of do now, but not in the same way that they used to, and that's mastery operators. I think it would be hard with the current operator system, being that there's so many, but I do think mastery operators, when they were in the game, were such a cool implementation to add another layer of progression. I know there are challenges throughout the latest games to unlock new variants of operators, but I think a more fully fleshed out version of this would be really nice to add to the game. I feel like this is probably on everyone's list, but I'm hoping so much for simplified perks and attachments. This has been a meme now ever since MW 2019 and the Gunsmith released. Like, does Call of Duty not listen to the community? Are the large majority of people just silently in favor of this system and I haven't heard about it? I really hate the current system, and having to scroll through 68 different barrels, 143 sights, 98 front rail attachments, 45 rear grip attachments, and 15 stocks just to use the same 5 attachments on every single gun in the game anyway. Why does COD need to be this complicated? Also, the whole level up this random shotgun to get the meta attachment for every assault rifle in the game just makes no sense to me. I'm fine with more than 2 attachments on a gun at once, but we do not need over 1,000 attachment options. There are definitely several other things we could add to the multiplayer list, but I'm going to keep it there for now. Let me know in the comments if you have any other big things that you're really hoping to see in multiplayer, and let's move on to zombies. In my opinion, zombies really needs a point system overhaul, and let me know in the comments if you guys enjoy the current point system, but I feel like the majority of the community misses the old system. Shoot a horde of zombies with a low-leveled weapon to get tons and tons of points, headshots give more points, and knife kills give more points. And this system I feel like was core to zombies for years and worked perfectly. It did not need an overhaul. I think the main argument was for shotguns or wonder weapons not providing enough points, but I think that was the point. You use a wonder weapon or a shotgun like the Haymaker to survive easier. It's overpowered, but you use it to make it to the high rounds once you've used the other weapons to gather points. The power trade-off works so well because it provides little points. But now every game you just load in with a Gallo, another fill-in-the-blank OP shotgun, and you're set for the game. And a lot of the time the shotguns are even more powerful than the wonder weapons themselves, so they make the gameplay super monotonous. With the new hitbox system in Black Ops 6, they do have 9 different hitbox sections, so they really could get crazy with it and add 9 different point amounts for each section. I think that's a little overboard. I think the body, head, and knife kills giving you different amounts of points are just fine. I don't think we need a crazy overhaul. But once again, I just don't really understand why they needed to make this change. And let me know if you guys really do enjoy this, because I guess I may be missing the point. Another thing I'm really hoping for within zombies is a distinct map feel. I'm hopeful for this one with the announcement of the 2 maps on launch. They already do seem pretty unique, and Cold War, while not the worst game ever, it just felt like we were jumping from facility to facility with similar layouts and vibes that didn't really provide any super memorable settings. I mean, just look at things like Buried, Dreisendrach, Shino, Origins, Moon. I mean, I really could name literally any zombies map pre-Cold War that wasn't a remake. And once you mention the name, I have something to associate it with. Barucht equals Insane Asylum. Kino equals Theater. 5 equals Pentagon, and Firebase Z, I really have no idea. Hopefully they can create some great and memorable maps that give us not only great gameplay, but a memorable and meaningful setting as well. Also, I really hope they work on delivering more rewarding Easter eggs. And I am mainly talking about the main Easter egg itself, but also side Easter eggs as well. There used to be dozens and dozens of different side Easter eggs in each map for upgrades, free items, perks, and you name it, but I feel like that has really died off lately. I will admit stuff like the disco Easter egg in Cold War was really well done, but mainly I am hoping that the main Easter eggs aren't so spoon-fed this year. It was such a disappointment watching the Easter egg hunts with Cold War, because it was basically just who could load in and listen to the narrators give you instructions faster. The Easter eggs were so straightforward, and not just that, they were so easy. Something like Origins or Buried provide a challenge, and completing them feels so rewarding. But with Cold War, it didn't provide much of either. I'm definitely not a fan of the shoot this random floating rock that's 1 pixel wide just because we decided that's what you need to do type of steps, but some mystery and some difficulty would be nice. I just hope they can find the right balance. This last one kind of goes without saying, but I really think Black Ops 6 needs a smooth launch. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Black Ops 4.
Chat, listen, we are about to go into this boss fight.
I can't even.
Here's on me.
No, not right now.
I'm going to.
And there goes the game.
There's no doubt Black Ops 6 would have been received so much better if it wasn't for the rockiest start in Call of Duty Zombies history. The amount of crashes, blue screens, and everything else in between was just unacceptable. And if that happens again this year, just like then, it won't matter how good the game is. It will be received negatively. And finally, campaign. I don't really have much to say about this, besides just please be pretty good and not extremely cringe or under 2 hours long. Treyarch and Raven-led games usually don't disappoint, so I do have pretty high hopes for this year. It would be awesome though if it was a classic. But like I said at the start, there is a lot riding on this year's Call of Duty. It's been something the community has been looking forward to for years, even through the development of other Call of Duty titles. Obviously, not all the things we're talking about will come to fruition, unfortunately, but I'm hoping that COD can at least hit some of these marks and bring the Call of Duty title back to the juggernaut it once was, even though it is kind of a juggernaut still. Maybe people won't talk bad about it all the time.